You live in God's firmament. The stars are written in the Bible. And today we're going to talk about personal brands after I blow the music industry into smithereens by empowering you, the artist, to completely be in control of it. Today we're going to be taking a look at Myron Golden and breaking down his ways of how to illustrate making a brand match. And for me, I've personally been making brands match for my entire life since college. And this goes towards people who are looking to build personal brands on YouTube. So let's take a look at what this guy's got to say. It's going to be a fantastic time.
Have you ever met somebody and you heard about them before you met them, but after you met them, what you heard about them, you were like, not so much? Have you ever met somebody who you heard a little bit about, you thought, well, okay, cool, I'll meet them. And then you meet them and you're like blown away? Well, this video is about you must make everything match the brand. Because here's what all of us would like to happen in some aspect, in some area of our lives. We would like for our reputation to precede us. In other words, like our reputation opens doors for us that we couldn't open for ourselves. But here's what we don't want. We cannot afford to have our reputation exceed us when our reputation precedes us. So I'm going to read a story in 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 1. And when the queen...
So the reason I'm bringing this to you is because your name brand is everything. If you're building a personal brand like the Ty Lopez brand, the Enzo brand, any brand that you're creating in this new economy where you have to have a personal brand be what you market yourself through, this is what we're going to take a look at.
Queen of Sheba had heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord. She came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with very great train, and camels that bear spices and very much gold, and precious stones. And when she came to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. And there was not anything hid from the king, which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom. Now, isn't that fascinating? When she had seen all of Solomon's wisdom, what does wisdom look like? How could she see his wisdom? Well, it's going to tell us. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and the ascent by which he went up into the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not the words until I came, and mine eyes have seen it. Now watch what she says next. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and thy prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. What? When was the last time you met somebody and the reality of them superseded the reputation of them? I mean, when was the last time that happened? It don't happen very often in life where you actually meet somebody, thank you, where you meet somebody and what you learn after you meet them is greater than what you heard before you met them. And the reason that happened is because Solomon, in the wisdom that God had given him, was obsessed over making sure he didn't misrepresent the brand. And by the way, as followers of Christ, we have to make sure we don't misrepresent the brand. I gotta make sure that the things people hear me say don't misrepresent the brand. I gotta make sure the things people see me do don't misrepresent the brand. I gotta make sure when people come into my space, that my space doesn't misrepresent the brand. Because I'm not just representing me. I'm representing the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And I want to make sure that my representation matches that brand. I have a friend of mine, my brother is a pastor, he's here today, and a lady who goes to his church said to me one time, said, Myron, and she wasn't being obtuse, she was just curious. She says, why do you talk about money and business so much? And I said, because I don't want to misrepresent Christ in the marketplace. Because God is a God of abundance. The kingdom of God is a family business. And I know those are very bold statements and not thought of within the realm of what we call Christianity, right? In fact, I did a video on how I read books, right? How to get, called Read and Grow Rich, how to get more out of the books you read. And somebody left a comment. Here's what they said. This is fascinating to me. They said, doesn't the Bible talk about being rich? I thought you were a man of God. Are you a Mason? What? Where did that come from? So my comment was, the Bible has a lot of things to say about that. I said, was Abraham a man of God? That's what I said. Was Abraham a man of God? The Bible has a whole lot to say about being rich. The first time the word rich is mentioned in the Bible, it's in Genesis chapter 13, verse number 2. Why don't you go read that, if you're so inclined, and come back and let me know what you find. And I wasn't being obtuse. I was just saying, here's one of the reasons I believe the brand of Christ has been so misrepresented in the world, in churches as well as in the marketplace. Because most, I won't say most because I haven't measured it, many, okay, I want to be accurate, many pastors don't study. And far too many do not teach the Bible in context. They read a verse and holler, and sometimes in their notes it seems like they say, weak point, say it louder, right? Sometimes, saying something louder doesn't make it more true. And so what happens is they preach they're okay. I wasn't planning on going here, but I might as well put this whole thing in context. There are 3 different types of sermons that you're going to listen to. For those of you who are watching out there in the YouTube sphere, there are topical sermons, and a topical sermon is you read a verse and you talk about a topic. Now, I know this for a fact because I used to be one. Most topical preachers come up with an idea and try to find a verse that matches to prove their point. I call that proof texting. The reason, and so you're not texting proof to somebody, okay? Okay, they're trying to use the text to prove their idea. And what happens is you have a whole bunch of preachers with fragmented theology because the way they preach the Bible is in a fragmented method. And so what they do is they lift a verse out of context, they teach a philosophy, attempt to prove it with a Bible verse, and so that's why you have so many confused people in churchianity, because they got their doctrine from the preacher and not from the Bible. I'm glad that when I was a kid, I was a teenager, I started reading the Bible for myself. I was allowed to do that, right? In fact, it was highly recommended. And I started reading the Bible for myself. And when I heard the preacher say something that wasn't substantiated in what I saw in the Bible, I believed the Bible over the preacher. By the way, that's a good thing, because here's what the apostle, in the book of Acts, it says that the Bereans were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Why? Because they searched the scriptures daily to see if the things the apostles were teaching were true. Now, if they're checking up on the apostles, and I think you don't need to check up on me, I'm the one that's confused. And if they needed to check up on the apostles, and I'm listening to a preacher, and I think I don't need to check up, make sure this joker know what they talking about, I'm confused. I remember I got in trouble one time. I went to a Christian school, and the pastor believed in a doctrine that I didn't believe in, okay? And I didn't believe in it because I studied the Bible. And I shall believe what you want to believe. We'll find out when we get there, right? And so he believed in the doctrine that you can lose your salvation, like you can get saved and then lose it. I didn't believe that. I believed that if you're saved for all eternity. It's called eternal life. It's not called temporary life. If it was eternal, you couldn't lose it. And if you can lose it, it wasn't eternal. I don't know. That seems simple enough to me. But he asked me in our Bible class in front of the other students if I believed you could lose your salvation. And I said, no. And he said, well, what about this verse? I said, well, I think it means this. He said, well, what about that verse? Well, I think it means this. And he basically told me off and embarrassed me in front of the class. I didn't even go back to school the next day. In fact, this was 2 weeks before my graduation, I literally contemplated quitting school that day. I was like, I'm done. But I didn't. I didn't quit. I'm glad I didn't quit. But I just decided a long time ago, I decided when I came to Christ, and my brother will tell you this, I decided I am not going to play with God. Because when I came home and told my mom I got saved, she said, "That's nice, baby." I told my brother, "There's no shame in it, Pastor. You weren't a pastor then. You were just a regular, you were my little brother who had seen me act a fool most of my life. So I can't blame you for thinking this." I told him, "Yeah, I got saved." He didn't say this to me, but he said it to himself. "I'll give him 2 weeks." And is that what you thought? Because he knew me. He probably knew me better than anybody. He's the brother who's closest to me in age. He probably knew me better than any other person on earth, and he gave me 2 weeks. But he didn't realize I'm not the one that made the change. And I decided when I came to Christ, like I ain't fixed, like I had a bad temper. I used to cuss the wallpaper off a wall. Fight at the drop of a hat and sometimes throw down 2 hats. Anyway, I'm not going to misrepresent Christ in the marketplace. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let the words that come out of my mouth, the actions that come out of my life, I'm not going to let it misrepresent who I say I represent. So everything has to match the brand.
So that would actually win in terms of godly economics versus paradox economics, which is something you'll see me talk about in Bible Wars, which if you look at the little ticker down there, you'll see what Bible Wars is. See me on that channel is going to grow your mind, so I hope that you guys do tune into that. Here on Chris Enzo Live, all the personal branding, all the marketing, all the cool things that you want to do, start on this type of foundation.
Here's what, in fact, Christ was so intent and intentional on not misrepresenting his brand. Remember I said earlier, the kingdom of God is a family business. Why do I say that? Because when Mary and Joseph lost Christ for a day because he had already been bar mitzvahed, so he was an adult, they didn't feel like they needed to babysit a 12-year-old, because 12 is the number of perfect government, by the way. And there's a whole biblical concept of parenting that is totally missed in our day of 34-year-old adolescents. Anyway, that's another conversation for a different day. And so when they came and they found him, he said, Joseph said, "Your mother and I, Mary said, your father and I were worried about you." And Jesus was like, no disrespect, but he ain't my father. And he said, "Woman," not woman, but like, "Dear lady, don't you know I must be about my father's business?"
I would say, woman.
In other words, I'm 12 years old. I got to be representing. I got to be representing the family business. And here's what it says. John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So the first thing I want to say about everything has to match the brand, everything you say has to match the brand. Now, I'm talking about the brand of the kingdom of God, but whatever brand of business you're building also, everything that you say has to match that brand. Right? Okay, so here's what it says. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was...
One of the biggest things I'll say I've seen in my life and other people is that when you're working a job, but you want to do something else, and you're not working on both those things properly and simultaneously, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between why you're working there and earning a paycheck and what you want to do. But you connect it all together, you're definitely way closer to being where you want to be here.
God, and the Word was with God, and the same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was made. Okay. Cool. That's pretty cool. And in him was the life, and the life, in him was the light, and the light, in him was the life, and the life was the light of men, and the light shined in darkness, darkness comprehended it not. You go down to verse 14, here's what it says. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory as the glory of the only begotten of the Father. Now, when you understand that the Bible's not a book about religion at all. It contains religion, it's not about religion. And God didn't even start the first religion. Satan did that in Genesis chapter 3. And the first religion was hedonism. If you disobey God, you get to be God. Let that one grow on you. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory as the glory of the only begotten of the...
Yeah, for me, there's only, you look up, There's only God. There's only God. Religion, it's not even, doesn't even make sense. There's only God. Holy Bible, Christian God. There's only God.
The Father. So the Word became flesh. The Bible is a book of patterns. That's a pattern. The interpretation of that is the Word, which is God and was with God, and that made the world, became flesh. That's the interpretation. But an application is this. When our Word becomes our flesh, we can dwell among the people we gave our word to. When our word does not become our flesh, we have to hide from those very same people. I wish I had some help in here. And then here's what it says. And the word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory as the glory that we only begotten of the Father. So when your word becomes your flesh, people can behold your glory. Then and only then can they believe your story. What does it say? What does it say in Matthew chapter 5? It says, ye are the light of the world. Let your light so shine where? Before men, that they may what? See your good works and glorify who? Your Father which is in heaven. See how it all matches up? Like everything has to match the brand. I can't go around.
Feed people. Giving is receiving.
B.R. Lakin used to say, he said, you think just because a man's a preacher, he's supposed to drive a rattle-trap car and wear hand-me-down clothes and walk around looking like an advance agent for the rag man. I don't believe that. Amen. Amen. Right? And so we have this idea that just because somebody's following God, they're supposed to be broke as a joke and ready to choke. That is not a biblical concept. It's a Catholic concept. It's not a biblical concept. The first time the word rich is mentioned in the Bible, it's talking about Abraham. After God told him, if you will leave where I'm telling you to leave, and you'll go to a place I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna bless you in ways you can't bless yourself, make you something you can't make yourself, give you something you can't get yourself. I'm gonna take the source of your shame, make it the source of your fame. I'm gonna bless those that bless you, curse those that curse you, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. Even though they're stupid enough not to know they're blessed, and they wanna curse the people of God. Anyway, that's another conversation for a different day also. We live in a world that's confused by what they call the news, and the news ain't news, it's old. It ain't new, it's old. And all it is a form of mind control and propaganda. But
it's the devil.
Here's what God said. God said, if you will do that, I'm gonna bless you. Guess what it says in the next chapter, second verse? And Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and gold. That's the first time the word rich is used in the Bible.
To describe the news, I would use the word illusion, and in fact, pretty much most economics, as I complete this arch with you, is based on an illusion. It's a more spiritual concept that would be better served in Bible wars, but marketing, God, it's all very close.
By the way, that word rich there is the word assure. Ein, it's spelled ein shin resh, assure. Well, oftentimes in the Hebrew, when you spell words backwards, you take the same letters you spell them backwards, they mean the opposite of the word that was spelled forward. Are y'all tracking? So the word is assure, ein shin resh. Well, there's another word that's spelled resh shin ein. Sometimes they take the shin out, it's just resh ein, which is ra. So rasha. What is rasha? Rasha is the backwards of assure. Well, when you think of the opposite of rich, what would you think that is? Poor, exactly. But when you spell assure backwards, it spells rasha, and rasha means evil. Now, it's not implying at all that people are poor because they're evil. But I think something that we've all noticed is that societies that are predominantly evil tend to be, and anti-God, are poor societies. Wow, that's fascinating, isn't it? So, everything has to match the brand. Make sure the words that come out of your mouth match the brand, the words that you say. It says, when the Queen of Sheba, see, y'all thought I forgot where I was. I didn't forget. I'm paying very close attention. When the Queen of Sheba had heard of the fame of Solomon, that's what it says. 1 Kings chapter 10, when the Queen of Sheba had heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. Now, here's what's really interesting. she heard of the fame of Solomon. How did she hear of the fame of Solomon? Boom. He's on the top 10 charts every week, right? How long? Long enough to go through 1,000 songs. The scripture says in 1 Kings chapter 4, he wrote 3,000 proverbs. His songs were 1,005. Let me ask you a question. Do your proverbs and your songs match the brand? What does that mean? Well, Solomon, so I've got social media. Let me ask you this. Proverbs were 3,000 proverbs. You know what you could translate that to today? 3,000 Instagram posts? Okay, 1,000 Instagram posts, 1,000 Facebook posts.
Sounds like marketing. Hello guys, welcome to Chris Enzo Live, where we tune into the YouTube channel and go over marketing so you can market your personal brand and develop yourself to the utmost high that you are capable of doing. Subscribe, follow, now let's go.
1,000 Twitter posts. He put his content out into the marketplace so people could be blessed by it. I don't use social media. Okay. The people that you desire to reach use it. And you ain't gonna you ain't gonna reach them where you are. You're gonna have to reach them where they are.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying it, but I want to take some time to invite you to join us at the Make More Offers Challenge. The Make More Offers Challenge, Offers Challenge.
Let him play this thing.
4 moves that can scale any business. I want to invite you to join us on the Make More Offers Challenge. Click the link in the description below. You will be glad you did. Join as a VIP and make the rest of your life the best of your life. And now, back to the
Hello, what's going on?
video you were watching.
So here's a question I got for you.
Matrix
The
attack.
posts that you put on your social media platform, do they match the brand of Christ, and do they match the brand of a Christ-centered business? Or do you have posts on your social media that have profanity in them? Ooh, did I say that? Yeah, I said it. Because the scripture says that out of the same mouth should not proceed blessings and cursings. Out of the same fountain should not proceed sweet water and bitter. People are so confused. I mean, confused. I had a dude ask me last week if he could pray for me. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna have to start reconsidering that. Do you mind if I lay hands on you? Whatever, bro, do your thing. He's praying for me and cusses in his prayer. Like, what, where have I been my whole life? You need to pray for you. I'm 62. I've seen a lot of stuff. I had never seen nothing like that. You're going to be cussing at God, praying for me. Don't pray for me no more.
Where is this?
Everything has to match the brand. My son is 34 years old. My daughter is 32. Neither one of them have ever heard me or my wife use profanity. Ever. Ever. How do I know? Because we've never heard us use it. Now, my brothers, they knew me before the Lord got a hold of me. Okay, so that's another story for a different day. But since then, they've not heard it. Everything has to match the brand. The words that come out of your mouth have to match the brand. He wrote 3,000 proverbs, which means he wasn't concerned about what he thought people would think about it. But what are people going to think if I put it out there? It's never good. Who cares? Put it out there thinking about them, not thinking about you. Get your mind off your...
That is the biggest thing I'd say about social media, is that you shouldn't have social media, and none of your social media should be about you. All of your social media should be of value to the other person on the other side of the screen. Every time that you touch it, the content should be serving them. And that is where your success will come from. The Hollywood illusion that most people fall into is me, me, me. I'm Kim Kardashian. I'm this rapper. I'm this actor. I'm this person. I'm this, I'm that. That's an illusion. That's bullshit. Stay away from it. What you want to do is be a tool for other people. So, for example, let's say that you are a photographer. Nobody cares. Teach people how to be a photographer. Everybody cares. In that group, in that niche, in that category. Identify the category. That is where you identify your brand. For the photographer, if you are teaching people who are other photographers, the brand should be a name. PhotoTeach. PhotoTeach.com. Instagram.com/PhotoTeach. Then, when you take your face and put it behind PhotoTeach, that's where actually the market rewards you with what looks like fame or popularity or high numbers, because all the people in PhotoTeach now come to you and say, well, yeah, I learned how to be the best photographer from him, that or her, that person over time. That's the absolute key to branding. That's the absolute key to success. Be of value to the marketplace. The marketplace determines who the value belongs to. When COVID-19 happened, shit. When it happened, that dictated who the millionaires were. So now, when they needed the toilet paper, when the cough happened and everybody needed the toilet paper, the market said the toilet paper holders are the millionaires. And that is how your value is determined constantly by the competitive marketplace. Figure out what people are competing for. That means, what does the consumer want the most? You find that consumer, you become the middleman, the brand, you bring them the product or service that they want the most. That's how you unlock your gifts. Find what's naturally easiest to you is where I'd start.
Self-word change. I'm so worried about what people are thinking about me. Well, let me be the bearer of good news. Ain't nobody thinking about you. They got stuff on their mind that they need to deal with. You are the last. I just can't stand them because what they said.
Exactly.
Child, please. Okay, so the words that you say have to match the brand. Then it says, she came to prove him with hard questions. So she heard, are the things that come out of your mouth. See, if you are not putting out content that shows people that you have the answers they're looking for, maybe that's why your business is not thriving.
What?
If you're not putting out content that lets families know you have the answers that'll make their family life better, maybe that's why your ministry's not thriving. Like, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I don't remember who it was. I was talking to somebody yesterday. Oh, one of my clients. One of my high-level VIP clients. I was telling her, I said, here's the thing. I said, somebody said, I don't know if it's true, so somebody said. I don't even remember who the person was because I read a lot of stuff and I watch a lot of stuff and I learn a lot of stuff, so I don't remember who said it. But I can see where it could be true. That's what I'm going to say about this statement that I'm about to make. They said that that organic content is 7 times more effective than paid advertising. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. That's what they said.
I'll clear that up for you guys. If you're going to build a business through, let's say, Instagram marketing, a very popular one for most people, you absolutely need to understand Google Ads. And we will do Google Ads. I'll even make a note of it right now. You absolutely need to do Google Ads, and you need to do Instagram ads to some degree. Google Ads trumps everything in the advertising world. Remember, this is marketing, that is advertising. If you want to run a business that turns profit, that makes money, Your marketing will get you only so far, but your marketing has to be the absolute best content for it. Remember Photo Teach a moment ago? You need to create the content around Photo Teach, but to get it its social footprint, advertising is what's going to push it there. It's all congruent to each other.
I can see where it could be true. And I just now figured out a way I could test the validity of that statement. Which means
Do the same thing, but it's happening right now.
if you are spending money to acquire a customer in advertising, you have to spend 7 times as much as you would have to spend if you spent that money on building out your organic platform.
Right. That's called the cost of customer acquisition. So he's absolutely right. So the cost of customer acquisition does absolutely go down tremendously because you've built marketing content yourself. So we're going to make a note of cost of customer acquisition and describe that as we go on. You probably want to watch Shark Tank and see how they constantly ask about the cost of customer acquisition. I'm a business major, or I graduated already. Cost of customer acquisition is a very basic concept that you'll understand early on in marketing math, accounting math, finance math, etc. Look into investopedia.com and look up the cost of customer acquisition and really get yourself started there.
Either way, it's going to cost you money. Like this YouTube video that I'm creating right now is free for people to consume, but it was not free for me to create. I mean, we had to buy those cameras, we had to buy those lenses, we had to buy these lights, right? And the stuff, right? So it wasn't free, but here's why I believe that free content, the community, what I call community service content, content that you create to serve the community, why I believe it's more impactful. Because when you buy an ad, when people see an ad, they know that your objective is to sell them something. They know that. And being human, we like buying stuff. How do I know? Because we all have stuff that we done bought. That's how I know. We like buying stuff, right? And most people hate to sell, and there's only one alternative to selling, and that's buying. So most people only like to buy. Well, good news for all the entrepreneurs in the room, right? Okay, now.
But how do you bring the value?
The problem is that when I spend money to get you to buy something from me, and you know it's an ad, you're like, oh, they're just trying to sell me something. If 9 times out of 10 when you see me, I'm showing up saying, hey, do you want to buy this? Like if I say, hey, do you want to buy this? Pastor Ron, would you like to buy this? Or would you like to buy these? And then, would you like to buy this? Oh, I have a bottle of water. Would you like to buy that? Oh, I have a pack of crackers. Would you like to buy that? Oh, I've got this great book. Would you like to buy that? Oh, I've got this cool highlighter. Would you like to buy that? Oh, I got this pack of Tic Tacs. Would you like to buy that? Oh, cool remote. I have no earthly idea what it goes to, but would you like to buy that, right? And so every time I show up, I'm saying, would you like to buy it? Would you like...
Bruv, what just happened? Well, while that's loading up there, branding is very much about the lifestyle behind the brand.
Like to buy, would you like to buy? Now when you see...
Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to pause that while that's loading up there. Experiencing interruptions, find out why. Being matrix attacked, that's why. Okay, we're at 26 minutes. So, as I was stating earlier, the number one thing you want to concentrate is bringing value to the brand in the free market. Or bringing value through the brand. If you're not bringing value, you want to dedicate yourself to bring in more value than anybody else is bringing in your field. So if you're a new entrepreneur, the thing that makes you an entrepreneur, the thing that makes you the person that takes all of the risk to leave the slavery and then to go into the real world is to take the most risk, and on the other side of the most risk is the most reward, assuming that you do it correctly and follow the formula. The formula is that you're going to be bringing the most value to the table. So back to the example of Photo Teach, which is just something I made up. If you want it, take it, you can have it. You need to be able to get the person from point A to point B the fastest. So let's say, like right now, there's videos on YouTube that describe exactly how to do it, and they have a quality video that's 46 minutes long, very similar to what we're watching right now. If you could do the exact same thing with a higher quality in 20 minutes and a better thumbnail, guess what? Now the crowd and the audience start to shift to you. Now you're bringing value within value because you're saving me time to get from point A to point B. Now, when I get there, I better understand how to operate the camera and the settings of the camera and everything inside of a camera in such a short amount of time. And if I want to branch out, if I want to grow with you, if I want to grow my audience with you, I should be able to go get another camera and then be able to shoot a movie. So you got to now go from photography to movie. And now your lifestyle, you're growing with the person's life. You brought me in as an entrepreneur. You saved me time. You brought me to understanding photo settings. And now I can grow into movies. It has to be lifestyle branding. You have to do it. You have to live it with your audience. There's a girl who has TikToks out there saying that if you want to grow a brand, you need to date your audience. When I find that person, I'll give that person their credit. But that is an amazing outlook. You absolutely need to date your audience. You need to be so impressive to them that all they want to do is find your content and be with you.
Me, even before a word comes out of my mouth, you're thinking, I'm going to ask if you'd like to buy. But watch what happens. When I show up and I say, I've got this really, really cool stuff. I've got this for you, and I've got this for you, and I've got this for you, and I've got that for you, and I got that for you. This is great. Good stuff for everybody. There it is. There's some more. I got that. He don't want that. He sells water, and it's way better than that. Okay, so if I show up, and every time I show up, I've got gifts. I'm just showing up and giving gifts. People are like, now when they see you, the first thought in their subconscious mind, without them even trying, is, I wonder what gifts he has for me today. Well, no wonder. Yeah, of course it would be more impactful. Right? Which is why, and this is just a statement, I'm not flexing.
Value.
But it's why we've been able to do over $15 million this year, and the year's not even over 16 million now.
Concept of value.
The year's not even over, and we spent $0 on advertising all year. That's unheard.
So while I'm trying to figure out while I'm being matrix attacked while streaming, which is not the first time this has happened, I think that somewhere in here, the power processing. Interesting, whatever. So he's describing value in the highest, most form. Now the video should be working. Let's take a look.
Heard of. And I only did it as a test to see if it would work. Next year, we're going to spend some money on ads. But we will put out 10 pieces of organic content for every one ad we run. Are y'all tracking? Next year. So
that is a damn good ratio. So there's a rule that goes 80% give, 20% ask. He's decided to go 90% give, 10% ask. You figure out your market, you figure out your ratios, but you see it's more giving than asking. So you need to be able to bring so much value, so much content. Give, ask, ask. Give, ask, ask. Give, ask, ask.
All I'm saying is everything has to match the brand. So here's the issue. Everything has to match the brand, but some of you are afraid to put out content because you're afraid you're going to run out of content.
No.
What are we going to talk about?
That's not happening.
By the way, any prolific content creator faces that at some point.
No.
I remember, so I was an evangelist for a while, and I traveled around the country preaching in churches. Well, if I came up with a new sermon every couple of months, I was good, right? Because people only have to come back once a year. So even if I came up with one a month or one every 2 weeks, then this church called me to be the pastor. My number one concern, I'm not even kidding, my number one concern was, I got to come up with something to talk about 3 times a week. Like 3 times a week, I got to come up with something. No, not 3 times a week to different people, to the same people. Oh my goodness, what am I going to say? I don't know if you've ever had that thought, Pastor, but Pastor Ron, when you were a pastor, and to make it worse, much more worse for me, I had people in my church that had been to seminary. I had not been to seminary. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Right? And then I've got this friend, Kenny Grant, pastor in Savannah, He said, man, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't have to know more than everybody in your church. All you gotta do is stay a week ahead. I said, I can stay a week ahead. I can do that. And it freed me up so much from worrying about things. But I've got some other good news for y'all. If you have been alive for any length of time, for a couple decades or more, you have learned so many things that would be beneficial for other people to know. You just don't value them because you know them.
That is.
And so you suffer from the most prolific content creation / business / ministry disease.
I call that the Diane-Kruger effect. The Diane-Kruger effect is when you have more in your head than the person next to you, so you're smarter than the person next to you, but you don't realize it. And you don't know how to convey it because you think the person next to you is just as smart as you. It also works in the reverse. You think you're just as dumb as the person next to you. Blah, da, da. Look up the Diane-Kruger effect.
Disease in the world. It's called I'm just me-itis, inflammation of the I'm just me gland. And if what you have, if somebody else had it, you could see the value in it, but you can't see it because it's you. But other people can see it in you, and they tell you that they can see it in you, and you still can't believe them because you've bought into the lie of your identity that who you are is not enough.
Interesting.
We ain't coming out too strong on Thanksgiving Day, are we? A little bit. We coming out, okay, we all right? You all right? Okay, so make sure everything you say matches the brand. Okay, I gotta go on because if I don't, then I'm gonna run over. And I told you I was gonna be 8 to 40 minutes. Y'all didn't believe me. Okay, so then it says, she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, and camels that bear spices and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions, which means he answered all her questions, and there was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. Okay, so not only does everything you say have to match the brand,
Exactly.
but all of the solutions that you provide have to also match the brand.
Exactly.
So, what does that mean? Anybody can build a flash-in-the-pan successful business. But you're going to build a business long-term, eventually, something's got to work. You got people paying you to provide a solution. You better figure out something that works. How many of y'all tracking? And so the greatest promoter of your business, the greatest promotion your business can have is the success of a client by using the product or the service or the solution that you've created. So your results become your brand ambassador. Oh, by the way, they already are. Oh, snap. What do you mean they already are? That means if nobody's walking around talking about how you've helped them, maybe you haven't helped them as much as you thought you had. I wish I had some help in here. Oh, Lord. Your solutions have to match. You know, it's interesting to me. I see these people. I think it was in Jeremiah 17. I was just listening to a passage this morning where it says that you get riches by and not delivering on the promises that you made. It's not going to last. I don't even remember what the verse was. I wish I was listening to it while I was getting ready this morning. But there are a whole bunch of verses in Scripture that teach that, right? You can't. And there are people who sell people stuff because they want to make money, and then they sell people stuff that either they know doesn't work or they don't know does work. Well, I'm going to sell this to you, then it's going to work. I hope. Like, know that the value you're bringing to people is value they desire to have, not just value you desire them to have. So, next is, it says, then it says in verse 4, and when the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom. And remember I asked the question, what does wisdom look like? When the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom. So it's not just what you say, and it's not just the solutions you provide. It's what people see. That matters. Okay. Well, here's what it says. When the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom and the house that he had built, so she was looking at his environment that he had created, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, the excellence with which his team operated, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and the ascent by which he went up into the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. When she had seen the results of his wisdom, it took her breath away. So what you say has to match the brand. The solutions you create have to match the brand. And what people see when they look at you has to match the brand. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, about what I'm about to say. I was heavily influenced in my earlier entrepreneurial career by a lot of younger entrepreneurs. And I did a lot of presentations in jeans and t-shirts. There's nothing wrong with jeans and t-shirts. But I hired one business coach, Joel, who I just came from a mastermind of his in California. And in his presentation, a part of his presentation is wrap the package. That's what he calls it, wrap the package. And he talked about the fact that his grandfather wore suits everywhere. He'd go to the butcher shop, he'd wear a suit. He'd go to the grocery store, he'd wear a suit. He traveled on an airplane, he'd wear a suit. So I said, and then he had a video. So Joel had this video. He just showed it this past week too. This homeless guy out begging for money. Nobody would give him money. He said he took the homeless guy into a thrift shop, bought him a sports coat that was 5 sizes too big, put some tape around a pack of cigarettes, made it look like a cell phone. Put the guy on the same street corner with this fake cell phone up to his ear and the sports coat on and said, hey, could I borrow 50 cents? I need to catch the bus. People just started handing him $5, $3, $5, $10, just because he looked like he didn't need it. My dad was a prophet.
Insane.
He was a plumber, actually, but he was prophetic in his plumbing. And he said, boy, I'm gonna tell you something. He said, if you look like you ain't got 2 nickels to rub together, nobody don't want to give you nothing. But if you look like you got everything, people will beat a pad to your door, giving you everything. I'm thinking to myself, and I'm in elementary school when he's telling me this. Like, what does that mean? I am telling you, I get more free stuff that I didn't ask for than I can count. People send me boxes of Pro V1 golf balls. Now, you may not think that's a big deal. 12 golf balls, Pro Vs. George knows, he's shaking his head, right? I get free Pro Vs all the time. I get at least, from non-family members, I get at least 3 or 4 dozen Pro V1 boxes of Pro V1 golf balls a year. Pro V1s cost $50 to $60 a box for 12 golf balls. That's just the golf balls people send me. People send me clothes. People send me custom engraved knife sets. Just stuff that I didn't ask for, like all the time. Art, just all kinds of stuff. Why? Kind of look like I need it. This goes to something I teach in selling. This is human psychology, basic human psychology. If people feel like, everybody say feel like. If people feel like you need them, they believe they don't need you. I'm gonna say that again. If people feel like you need them, they believe they don't need you. But if people feel like you don't need them, they believe they need you. Isn't that fascinating? When I've only bought $1 million home in my life. And the $1 million house that I used to live in, the lady that sold it to me, she told me, and another real estate agent told me this too, real estate agents that drive Mercedes sell more houses than real estate agents that don't.
Huh.
Wow. When you look like you got it going on, people want to be in your, I get it, it doesn't make sense. I get it, it's not There, it's not. It's just because people are people.
Control your optics. Control your optics. It matters a lot. Figure that out. Like when I do music on Lord Enzo XXVI, if you are a rapper still dressing like it's 2005, God bless you. Don't do that.
One of the things that all of us can do is we can all wrap our package. We can all just like dress better. So I'm going to end with this story
That's
because
true.
it's almost time for me to start Bible study. So I'm going to end with this story. And I'm going to finish reading the passage because I want to show you something mind-blowing. I had a seminar I was speaking at in Dallas, Texas. This was the next to the last time I flew commercial in my life. So it was last May of 2022. Had a real estate seminar, nonstop flight from Tampa to Dallas. Get to Dallas, my luggage didn't come off. I go report it. Okay, we'll deliver it to your room, to your hotel where you're staying. Cool. That night it didn't come. The next morning it didn't come. Next morning, I'm speaking at this seminar. 2,200 people. They lost my suitcase. It's called a suitcase. It had my suit in it. But fortunately for me, when I travel, I wear a suit when I travel. And so I didn't have to go buy a suit. I had to wear the same suit 2 days in a row. Oh, shucks. But I didn't have to go buy a suit because I wore a suit when I traveled. Look as good as you can. Even if you're wearing casual clothes, wrap your package and look as good as, look put together. Now, when she saw his wisdom, how did she see it? Well, we read it. Now here's what she did after she saw all that and he answered all her questions, okay? She said, happy are these thy servants, verse 8, which stand continually before thee and hear thy wisdom. Blessed be the Lord God, which delighted in thee to set thee on the throne of Israel. Watch this part. Because the Lord loved Israel forever, therefore made he thee king to do judgment and justice. God didn't put Solomon on the throne of Israel because he loved Solomon. He put Solomon on the throne of Israel because he loved Israel. Can God trust you enough to put you in a position to demonstrate love to his people because of the platform that he sat you on? Okay, watch this. And she gave King Solomon 120 talents of gold and spices very great store and precious stones, and there came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. Let me ask you a question. Did King Solomon need the queen of Sheba's 120 talents of gold, yes or no? No, he didn't need it. So here's our problem in the West. When we read about the queen of Sheba giving King Solomon the 120 talents of gold, we don't have any idea how much that is, so we just keep reading. So shall we do some math? Can we do some math? Everybody, let's do some math. We're going to do it fast. It's got to be fast math. I'm going to let y'all do the math on your own because I got to go. So here it is. You ready? A talent weighed between 68 and 74 pounds. Let's just call it 70 pounds. 70 pounds. There's 16 ounces in a pound. Okay? So if we take 16 times 70 times 120, and then we multiply that times the current price of gold, which is almost $2,000, I'm sure. I don't know exactly how much it is right now. Okay, times the current price of gold is $1,995. You should come up with somewhere between $253 million and $260-something million. $268 million, $100 something dollars. That's one client. King Solomon consulted all of the kings and queens of the earth. Let that grow on you. Everything has to match the brand. And in the words of my brother Jeff, he told me this a long time ago. He said, man, I'm going to tell you something.
The market dictates your value.
Everything about you says to your customer, either buy from me or don't buy from me. Whether your shoes are shined, whether your hair is cut, whether your face is clean, if your suit is pressed, if your shirt is wrinkled, everything says buy from me or don't buy from me. You can't afford to have anything say don't buy from me.
That was fantastic, and I like to build these things on a foundation. So the foundation is that you want to start with God. You want to start with God. He's like a entrepreneur pastor. So that's one way to look at him. Go follow Myron Golden. He's got gem after gem after gem after gem. The other part of this stream is that we're going to look into Ty Lopez. Before I was getting Matrix attacked, I had Ty Lopez pulled up here. But let me tell you a story real quick. I actually got a chance to meet Ty Lopez in the 2016 North Miami Bitcoin Conference, and he is an awesome guy. One of the coolest things that you'll see is how he actually, which is probably what the title of this video is going to be, the branding formula, brand, land, cash, crypto. I would say for the normal person that once you start getting into this stuff, let's say that you're going to do Google Ads for the first time, right? You want to set, let's say, aside for Photo Teach $1,000 of credit. Put that in the Google Ads, right? So it really goes credit, cash, brand, land, crypto. Well, crypto then land, I think. Well, then of course gold. Then of course assets like jewelry. We're going to get deeper into that. We're going to get into Robert Kiyosaki, how you can invest in actual jewels in Lover's Gambit, which is down there. We're going to talk about all those things. Now, the coolest thing I like about what we're about to see with Ty Lopez here is that he is on a very, very low definition camera. And he's on a very low definition camera on purpose. Because I think that what the statement being said here is that if I can do what I do from this low definition camera, no matter how big your equipment is, or no matter how fancy it is, the brand, which is his personal brand, Ty Lopez, Chris Enzo, personal brands, is able to facilitate through the screen when you're providing value. And he can provide value with the lowest definition camera or the highest definition camera. The camera, the equipment, the story, none of it matters. You have to be able to convey the value, and people will come and get it from you automatically. So let's take a look at Mr. Ty Lopez.
Talking about 5 habits, brand. Well, let's step back. 5 habits of wealth. So one of them is building. You build 5 assets: software, brand, land, cash, crypto. Easy. Should be teaching this in school, and they don't. Oh, by the way, I just formed a new Telegram group. I was just testing out Telegram live. I'm gonna go live on Telegram at the same time. Actually, you can join this. It's my black belt sales group.
Actually,
I'm basically going to teach people for free how to become
the 12 different brands that I'm running, or however many brands I have at this point, are all connected through my Telegram group, all of them. So any content that I think is of value to you, no matter where I am in this world. So let's read the screen real quick, right? Follow, like, share, subscribe, comment. Chris Enzo is in the same Telegram as Apex Warrior Sports, is in the same Telegram group as Batsuit, is in the same Telegram group as Bible Wars, at Chill City, at Lord Enzo XXVI, at Lovers Gambit, at Wealth Builders Network. It's all in the same Telegram group. If you want that free value, go get it right now. It's in my Beacons link. My Beacons link should be in the bio of this YouTube video, Kick video, Facebook video right now. I will be on Rumble later. Let's play the video. Let's go.
I'm a black belt in sales and deal closing. Who's out here making money? What's the 5 best assets you should own and invest in? Anybody? Who knows? Sorry, I'm live on like 5 different places. Let me go live real quick on I just formed this Telegram group. Let me put a link. I'll put a link if anybody wants to join. Give me a second. Zoom. I'll do it in a second. Okay. The 5 habits. So these are the 5 habits to the good life. Everything you want to know about life. It's like you got to have 5 habits. The first one is reading. That's for mentors. The second one is fasting for health. The The 5-hour rule. 3 hours in the morning, don't eat when you wake up, and 2 hours before you go to bed, don't eat. Then the third habit of wealth is build brands, land, software, cash, crypto. 5 assets, 5 things you need to own. And if you don't have any of those, learn sales. If you don't have anything, learn sales. Because if you can sell, you can do anything you want. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, after that, you got habit number 4, which
So this book
network.
is
That's the 5-finger rule. Learn how to read.
this book is recommended by pretty much everyone in the industry, right? So the cool thing about that is that what you want to do in this type of scenario is that you want to literally, and I mean literally, probably watch me read this to you on Rumble. If they let me do that on Rumble, because books are copyrighted and all that, if they let me read this to you guys on Rumble, I'll go ahead and gladly do it. And if not, we'll figure out a way to communicate this, whether I put like pictures of this on my story or whether or not I'm just talking about this book. We're going to break this down in many different concepts. But part 1, the first $25,000 is the hardest. Building the first $25,000 through frugality, why wealth creation begins with frugality, the psychology of frugality conclusion. The most common person that I see promoting this book on the internet right now is Walter Weeks on the Fresh and Fit podcast. He's been on Fresh and Fit. I've actually spoken to Walter Weeks once as well. So look, we're all doing the same thing. So I highly recommend this to you.
Read people's hand, not astrology, not palm reading, science. You can see the testosterone to estrogen ratio. That's the beginning of learning how to read people and network. You learn their dominant hormone system. So whether it's cortisol, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. And then the last one is breathing. If you want to be happier, you want to overcome stress, 5 breaths. Learn to take 5 deep breaths, man. Somebody said, just sell the shirt off my back. Let me put this on Telegram group here. Let me find a fucking link here. Who's got the best sales program out there? Well, I got a free one. I got a free one. You want to learn sales? I'm telling you, I go head to head with any salesperson in the world. First off, I got the credentials. I got about as much credentials as any human on earth. Anybody who's teaching. Dan sold more than me. Maybe Grant Cardone. There's a couple people. He's a lot older, but my age or younger, no. So if you go by credentials, man, I was selling.
From my Florida people, it's already talking about real estate right there. Chapter 11, real estate. And then over here, you're going to see a bunch of different things it's talking about. How to make money, scaling a scalable career, financial impact on housing decisions. That's going to be a big one for Floridians. Let's take a look. Let's go.
Selling as a teenager. I've sold everything. Life insurance. So someone said, Ty, why do you look like a kid's PE coach? I have no idea, man. You're too deep in the PE world to understand. I don't even know what a PE teacher looks like. Let me make this short link. Who wants to be in this Telegram? I got it on my Instagram story, but I need to get the damn link here. Hold on. I forgot my own link. By the way, who here has ever closed a $100,000 deal? Anybody? Anybody closed a $100,000 deal? Anybody closed a $10,000 deal? $1 million deal? All right, I'll show you all how to close. Second, I'm gonna do that. My team will set it up in a minute. Okay. Devin says he's closed a $500,000 deal. 80%, 75 to 80% of self-made billionaires started in sales. You know that? It's an insane number. Just let that sink in. Like everything they're teaching in school, teaching people to get all these degrees. Shit, the thing that actually makes people rich, one of the big things, learning direct sales. Somebody's closed a $150,000 deal, $600,000, good. My black belts, if in my system, if you're a black belt, now You close a $5 million deal. I'm talking about getting money. I'm talking about the wire, being somebody going and wiring $5 million for the deal. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the deal value is $5 million over 10 fucking years or some shit like that. Someone sold a house for 80 grand. Good. David, what'd you close? Are you guys in real estate? I think you guys are realtors, right? Jeff, Maisie, 8.5 million. You talking about a house? What are you guys talking about? What are you all talking about? Okay. Instagram's too slow. So I was talking about a couple things about sales. First, there's 3 steps to closing any deal and selling. Yeah, these are real estate. Yeah, that's fine. I can show you. If I was a realtor, man, I could mop up. Look, the thing about realtors they don't do well is they don't understand personal branding. Realtors like buy fucking billboards and bullshit like that. Like, what the fuck? Pardon my French. It's late at night, so I'm swearing more than. What are you, 1976?
Knights don't swear anymore.
That's not. Build a funnel, build a following, build an email list, build a brand. Like you got to stop with that. Realtors are just like in the 1950s. Like, come on, man. This is the day I built my first funnel in 2001. Ryan Servant's the greatest realtor. I don't know who that is, but I'll go head to head with anybody who sells stuff. Selling. I've sold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stuff. Okay. Things that get people rich. Where's the garage at? Thoughts on MLM business, so multi-level marketing. That's good to start, learn sales. But I'm going to teach you that same stuff for free. You don't have to buy anything. My Telegram group, I'm putting 200,000 people in this group. I just launched it a few minutes ago. It's going to be in the hundreds soon. By the time I wake up, it'll be, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can hit it this time next year. I have 200.
I just had a couple of ideas to bring you guys in the next video, so stay tuned on this. We're about to go over some of the marketing aspects that are going to just supercharge your power.
100,000 people in it. Free. And I'll give you people's like, oh, well, how are you going to make money from it? I'm not going to sell you a course in that program. Okay. But I will, if you don't have anything to sell, I'll give you can resell my products if you want, but there's no pressure. I'm not going to make you pay anything. For this, I'll teach you sales for free. Sell me your pen, all that kind of stuff. I just recorded a thing on how I would sell a pen. I have a 34-step process to make a video sales letter. So if you want to sell online, there's 34 steps. So if I want to sell a pen, I'm following 34 steps. But that's way more advanced black belt stuff. If you want to learn a black belt, you can do, I'm not talking about real estate. I'm talking about business services, stuff like that. $100,000 to $1 million deal. My deals, like I pay my commission guys more than 10%. Think about real estate. If you sell a $8 million house, you get it. Let's say you're getting a 5% commission, and then you got to split it 2 ways. You're only making 2.5%, which is still good on 800,000, but 8 million. Sorry, but my guys can make the same amount of money selling $1 million product. So, what about insurance? Same thing. Insurance is good. I started in insurance. Let me get this short link for you all.
That's one thing me and him do not have in common. I've always been approached as insurance being pretty much a scam. You have to get... I don't even want to go into it right now. Let's stick to this branding.
Okay. So you just go to tylopez.com/sales telegram to learn sales. I'll put it here. tylopez.com/sales telegram. Lopez.com. I'll put it right here. It's free. I'm not going to sell you anything. In fact, I'll pay you. You can come work with me. Sales Telegram. Maybe I should change that name. It's kind of a stupid name, right? I got my own software to change names. How about this? I'll do it black belt Telegram. Let me get it changed because I got a black belt system. Some of you I'll turn out into red belts. Just type it. I'm gonna give me a second. Selling insurance is actually lucrative if you don't. Man, I was in the $1 Million Round Table on sales and doing life insurance a long time ago. I started out selling the hardest thing, you know? So, give me a second. I'm gonna pour people into this Telegram. I said it so you can see the videos I was showing people. One of the most important things I'm gonna teach you is how to read people. But I'll also show you, if you don't have anything to sell, you can sell my business marketing stuff to businesses. Shit, I just am paying out commissions out the yin yang today. I was looking at some of the guys. Some of my guys are gonna make. I got guys gonna make $20,000 to $100,000 this month. Different guys. It's gonna be big money, people. And I'm just ramping up. I launched my own software platform, so you can sell my stuff, or you can sell your own stuff, or you can do multi-level marketing, or you can do real estate. But give me some questions. What's some practical questions those of you in sales you're struggling with? Can't close a deal. By the way, this applies to marketing for those of you with personal brands. Let me answer some specific questions. Any book recommendations? I mean, you can read Influenced by Cialdini. I like Dr. David Buss stuff. You should read Carl Jung. You should read Sigmund Freud. You know, what classifies a black belt or red belt? Red belt, you can basically, you've done hundreds of millions of dollars or $1 billion plus in sales in your career. But black belt, or basically my black belts, I can hand them a lead and I know confident that they can close something that's going to make them $10,000 to $50,000 commission. If you're a black belt working for me, I want to be able to hand you a lead and be like, go out and get this, make your commission 10 to 50 grand on this deal. Do a couple a month. You know, I want a couple sales guys. I had a friend, he sold a trucking company for $600 million or something. Guy in Tennessee, big company. And he had, no, it's $300 million. That's right. And he's a big beast. And he told me, he's like, man, I like to have my top sales guys all making 600,000 to $1 million a year. It's like that. He always had that goal. So I kind of think in that mentality. Top 20 MBA, worth it. I learned a lot from Andy Elliott when it comes to closing sales. He's very aggressive when it comes to closing. I don't know. I've been like a couple of years not paying attention to social media. I'm coming back to social media now, but there's all kinds of influencers. I'm sure there's good ones. I don't know who they are. In terms of here's the deal. You can't learn a system that's the same for everything. Just like marketing. There's at least 4 dominant types of hormone-driven personalities. There's serotonin, those are structure-based. There's empathy, those are oxytocin-based. There's novelty, those are dopamine-based. And there's threat-based, and those are cortisol-based. So if you have one closing style, okay, it's not gonna work. Oh, cool. Ty, about your Persuasion Accelerator program. I implemented what you learned. Also reading storytelling. Our TikTok blew up and got 55,000 followers and millions of views. I'm streaming over here on YouTube. I'm gonna take a picture of that testimonial. 80% of the big influencers you see now have been through my stuff. People don't realize that, man. Like, I've trained indirectly or directly almost 80% of the people making money online now. So
That's cool. I like that. That's nice.
Because I've just seen it work. Okay, best 5 points on marketing. 3 steps to closing any deal, whether it be marketing or phone sales. Step number 1, assess what type of personality they are. Which of those, I have 12 characteristics because you have the 4 types, then they can be 3 types of testosterone, risk-taking, aggression. So you have to know different people have different risk tolerance. So there's no one size fits all. So you want to know which of the 4 dominant personality types works. Number 2, after that, okay, you need to adjust based on what their personality type is. Okay, you need to adjust. So you should have different angles. You can't always be aggressive. Somebody said, Ty, you talk too much. Well, dipshit, you're on a fucking live stream. for people to talk. Good news for you all that are becoming black belts. So many stupid people in this world. You're going to stand out if you have a brain. There's going to be people that will be like, yo, I went to this talk show and this motherfucker was talking. I couldn't figure it out. People are easily confused. And I went to your Instagram and you post stuff on Instagram.
What? A photo?
So step number 1, read the personality. Step number 2, adjust. And then step number 3 is confidence and persistence. You know, confidence, persistence. But you got to have step number 2. A lot of people are teaching sales stuff, and what they're teaching you to do is use this really aggressive confidence and so on. But it doesn't always work. But that shit doesn't work on me. I'm dominated by dopamine and serotonin. So if you come too strong, okay, since I have high serotonin also, I'm logical. People try to sell me through aggression. It doesn't work. You know, I'm buying some cars now from a woman who's a good salesperson. If you ever want to buy a Lambo or Gotti or a Rolls Royce, I bought all my cars from her. She understands my personality type. She knows that I might call her in August and I might not buy a car till January. She doesn't have to use pressure on me. I'm just gonna close, you know. Tommy says, what if you don't have a dominant personality? Can you address through the 4 different types if you're heavily introverted? Sure. And introverts can learn things like email marketing. You'll follow up best. You'll build funnels, SMS stuff. Don't worry about that. That's overrated. We had 3,000 followers after 1 year trying. Took your course and got 55,000 in 2 months. Yes. I got I'm finishing out the 5 triggers. I got lots of triggers. I got the 39 triggers. How do you close with low-income families? Try not to sell to low-income people. I'm going to make this simple for you all. If you're broke yourself, try to sell to rich people. It's like if you're drowning, it's like, oh, I don't know how to swim. Let me go swim with a whole bunch of other people that don't know how to swim. I don't like that technique. The only time you could make money is selling to the masses. If you're selling something they really have to have, like auto insurance, health insurance, but it's very saturated and it's just hard. You know, I'm not a fan of that. Okay. I highly recommend go upstream. Sell to mid to upper markets. Okay. By the way, so the link, I got it set up here. If you want to join the Telegram, it's totally free. I made it it's the first time I ever built a group, and I'm going to sell you a course. Okay? It's fucking free. Telegram. You got to download Telegram. It's a free app. If you don't know what it is, well, then you can't be in my program. I use Telegram because it hides your phone number, so you don't have to have. I'm going to try to put 200,000 people in this, and I don't want 200,000 people to be able to see your phone number, right? So the link is Ty Lopez. I'll welcome some of you. TyLopez.com/blackbelt. TyLopez.com. I'll put it in the chat here. TyLopez.com/blackbelt. Type that in, it'll auto redirect to Telegram. Totally free. Lucretia, it's your birthday.
Yeah. Telegram.
Website breakdowns were sick. Yeah, well, that's what I'm teaching you on psychology. I can break down websites because it's all the same stuff, man. It's all the same. Selling, look, all you have, if you want to make money in the world, all money is in the possession of other humans.
Yeah.
Okay? A rock doesn't have money. A cow doesn't have money. It's a human invention, whether it be fiat or digital type currencies like crypto. Okay, so therefore you have to reverse engineer humans. You call that psychology. I call it persuasion at the top. Okay, you want to learn persuasion, and that's a branch of practical psychology. Persuasion is what you want, and then below that is all the things we call sales and marketing and closing.
In this video, he's going to talk about hypnosis. And I actually used the same tactic on you guys earlier. Again, watch this. I was out in the 2016 Miami Bitcoin conference, and I got a chance to meet up with Ty Lopez. And upon meeting him, he was on the phone. So I waited for him to get off of the phone. And after he was off of the phone, I got a chance to talk to him for a little bit, take a picture with him. I've been posting that picture on my Wealth Builders Network, and I'm going to use that for social media content marketing. That is hypnosis, telling a story, high energy, being able to just do it on command. You have to have that skill and that talent to be able to sell what you're marketing. Sell, marketing, advertising. There's a chain of command there. Watch as he goes on to be able to do it.
But persuasive people make the most money. Bill Gates became wealthy at the beginning because he was very persuasive. Elon Musk, very persuasive guy. High tips on selling digital education. Same thing. There's 4 types of people. You have to know how to read their persona would be the word. And then you adjust the way you're selling based on their personality. And then you have confidence and persistence till the deals close. I'm talking a little bit more about sales right now, but which is one-on-one sales I'm talking about.
If you guys can hear the music that I'm playing, it's copyright-free music from YouTube. So out of all the things that I can play, this at least got a little bit of something in there to break the silence, and it's copyright-free.
Specifically, but this can apply to marketing too. All right, people are pouring in the group now because I just advertised. Got a
Fair
couple
use.
hundred already in here, and most people are asleep. Thoughts on becoming a realtor in 2023? Become a realtor if you really like real estate. Don't just. There's so many other things that you can sell to make money besides real estate. So I would not become a realtor if I was just trying to make money.
Every single girl is a real estate agent now. That's all I'll say about that there.
The average realtor makes like 30 grand a year. It's very saturated. But if you like real estate and it's a passion of yours and you master sales and become a black belt at selling, then you'll be good. Then you should do real estate. Somebody said the link is breaking down. Is the link working?
Yeah.
I see people joining.
Yeah.
Lopez.com/blackbelt. Anybody know? Anybody in? Hiring closers? Yep. If you want, look, I got a free Telegram group. If you don't have anything to sell, you can sell my stuff. I'll give some of you leads, or you can generate your own leads. If you generate your own leads, I'll pay you a higher commission. If I give you leads, oh, I forgot to fucking pin. Sorry. TyLopez.com.
Listen to the structure of what he's saying.
/black belt.
It all works.
It might. By the way, you need to have Telegram installed. By the way, it's an app. It's about 500 million people have this app. It's a safe app. TyLopez.com. /black belt. Let me pin it. Okay, so I got it pinned. If you want to be in the Telegram, TyLopez.com/black belt. Ty, you're a fucking savage. Sales, I will show you. I look, there's other good people to teach sales. That's great. But I know a lot about sales and closing complicated deals, advanced deals in every single market, man. So you can listen to other people, but you should listen to the stuff I'm going to tell you. Can you say hello? It's my birthday. What's up? Clay beads and bracelets. Happy birthday. Ty missed the 2017 whiteboard lectures in the mansion. I'll be doing those again. Can't get the link? The link's right below. You gotta download Telegram. We need Ty playing chess. Man, before anybody was talking about chess, I was live streaming me playing chess. You all don't remember? I had a senior master. My grandfather's a chess master. I'm not a chess master, but I'm pretty good. Last 2 years ago, I was training with Fabiano Caragna. He's the second best chess player in the world. Him and Magnus Carlsen. He's better than Bobby Fischer. So I play with the top guys. I'm not as good as he's a grandmaster, but one of the great grandmasters of all time. Chess is good. Learn sales is better. I have a course on OnlyFans. How can you get more sales? You're not triggering enough of the 39 cognitive biases. You got to trigger people. Look, I give you an example. Let me hypnotize the crowd. So hypnosis is not what you think, but hypnosis is real. So hypnosis is not, let me unhypnotize you. Okay. Let me do the opposite of hypnosis. Hey, everybody. We're going to talk about sales. Sales are important. 80 to 90% of self-made billionaires started in sales. Who wants to learn sales? I got a Telegram group. It's completely free. I'm not selling a course. It's just free value. I'm going to be in there. That's not that hypnotic. Let me make it more hypnotic. Okay. Tell you all a story. Mark Cuban came to my house. I said, Mark, did you learn sales? He said, man, when I was a teenager, I was selling trash bags door to door. Door to door? Yeah. That's how I learned to master deals. I use those same techniques to make $1 billion. Said Tice, I watched in front of my computer when I became a billionaire overnight. I'm refreshing the fucking screen and my net worth is going 50 million, 100 million, 150, 200. He said, I couldn't sleep. I was up because everybody in this group, you, every one of you would be hypnotized if every time you refreshed the screen, it went up $50 million, your net worth. But that's a story, and that was rooted in sales. Bill Gates became, love him or hate him, he was the richest man in the world for 20 years. How did he do it? He was so good at sales when he was 16 years old. He was selling to adults. He was changing his voice. He would get on the phone and go, well, yes, this is Mr. Gates. I'd like to sell you something. He became the wealthiest man in the world. Steve Jobs was selling little trinkets.
Bill Gates also bought the apple cider company, Bragg's, and changed it and changed the ingredients to subtly kill you. That man operates like a devil.
He, in fact, went to the door. He found a guy in San Francisco who knew the most about tech, and he knocked on he called the guy and said, can I come visit you? I think it was Hewlett Packard guy, one of those guys. So at the end of the day, for all of you who don't like your bank account, I can predict the amount of money in your bank account by your ability to persuade and hypnotize a crowd or an individual person. If your love life sucks because you can't walk up to a woman and speak to her persuasively, or a man, you can't business network because you don't understand those 3 things that I told you that all black belts know, or the best black belts know. What type of person am I talking to? Read their personality. Number 2, adjust your methods based on who they are. Number 3, persistence and confidence. That's all you need. You want to do better with a woman? You walk up to a woman. Ideally, you don't go into aggressive. I know a lot of people are teaching all this aggressive shit on Instagram. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. It goes viral on social media, but I'm like, dude, these guys ain't doing well with women. Okay, that are all just aggressive. Women are have inherited 10,000 generations of genetics that makes them fear men. You think you're gonna overcome that by some quick little method you have? You think you're gonna overcome genes? Are you insane? Do you understand DNA? DNA doesn't change over 1,000 years. It effectively is the same. Women have the same DNA as they had 15,000 years ago, 25,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago. Homo sapiens are 200 to 300,000 years old.
You see,
So
there's a
women carry
direct
inherent.
correlation between his theology and my theology. Respectfully, we approach the world in a different way when it comes to getting in front of the computer and talking in front of a camera. Through his methodology, everything for him boils down to the human being science. And obviously he's a smart guy, so it's not just that simple. But the ideology that you're coming from in that perspective, which is what he offers to the world, is the evolutionary science or scientific reverse engineering of the human. Whereas mine is spiritual first. His is science as the foundation, mine is God as the foundation, spiritual as the foundation. So, in just the same way, I would never walk up to a girl and say, hey, I'm having a chemical reaction in my brain, and it's causing me to have feelings of looking at you because of molecular science. I'm not saying that he's doing that, but I have a much different approach, and you'll learn more about that in How to Be a Girlfriend, which you'll see me on How to Be a Girlfriend. I don't advertise it right now, but How to Be a Girlfriend will describe all of those things. So it's pretty dope.
And fear when it comes to men. Imagine you men, a lot of women weigh 110 pounds, a lot of men weigh 220 pounds. That's double your weight. Men, how would you feel if you go in a fucking room, you weigh 250 pounds, and a 500-pound motherfucker walks up to you, looks you straight in the eyes like, I was looking at you over another side of the room. Hey, you got my attention. You're so beautiful. What do you think? Dudes are gonna be, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? This is about to be a prison scene. So all these methodologies that people are teaching, they're not logical and they're not scientific. Scientific is to understand who you're talking to and to adjust accordingly. In general, you don't want to speak to a woman in such a way that she feels you're hyper aggressive. Confident, yes, but not hyper aggressive, not a threat. So it's better to get, if you're in a group and there's women there, listen for a second. You can assess the personality type of a woman. Is she threat based? Then you're going to have to come more calm because she's inherently higher in cortisol. Is she somebody who is?
To that, I would say love is not science. Or let me say it like this: science is not love, and love is not relationships. Three very different things. And I'll be able to combine those elements for you on How to Be a Girlfriend.
More speak slowly, kind of organized, laid back. She's probably more a serotonin person. Is she fast paced? She's probably more dopamine. You can adjust accordingly. If you meet a woman who is, very kind of kind and feminine, we associate those traits with oxytocin, estrogen. This is somebody that is going to be more feminine. Oftentimes they're attracted to masculine, but you can take it too far because in addition to the four types, there's 3 levels of testosterone in every human, male or female, low, medium, high, and testosterone is directly related to things like low agreeableness, dominance, aggression, risk taking, low fear levels. So as you start to read a woman or a man, if you're networking, or a woman if it's a date, I'm assuming you're a straight man if you're watching this. I'm gonna adjust. I don't feel like talking about fucking gender and shit all the time. Stupid distractions. We talked about the real stuff. Okay? The real stuff is what I'm talking about, which is your life. Things that matter. Can you pay your bills? That matters. So listen to what I'm saying. Now, somebody said women love persistence. Not all women love persistence. Not all women love. You cannot generalize. Women have evolved tremendously differentiated approaches. So if you are always persistent with women, there's a subset of women who will love it, a subset of women who will be in between, a subset of women who don't like it. Just like me. There's a way, if you wanted to approach me in a business networking session, you should come to me differently than I know other people that I don't like when somebody's too aggressive. Talking business, people bugging me all the time. There's a better way. Play the slow game. Get to know me, get to know my phone, then we can do business later. I don't care what class you're taking online. You're not gonna convince me to do a business with you because you've memorized some objective script and that's not how the game goes. So, anyway, where do you get all this information about people? I mean, I own a big psychology company, Life Compass. I've tested.
The world is better when you understand the value that you bring to the world. Your world is better when you understand what value that you bring to the world. And I like to believe that each and every one of us as a unique individual offers some sort of value uniquely to the world, and then also belong to a subsection of humans that also share the same value that they bring. And if you fit in with those people, you'll unlock your truest value.
More people than basically any psychologist alive. Dr. David Buss has been my mentor for 9 years. The Harvard, he's the mentor of Jordan Peterson. So he's not really the formal mentor of Jordan Peterson. Dr. Buss is my formal mentor, my mentor for many years. But I think that I've learned a lot about psychometrics, how to read people, the actual science. There's a lot of simple stuff, and then there's a lot of more complex stuff. By the way, who's in this Telegram group? I'm gonna go live in the Telegram too. This group's gonna fill up, man. Damn. While I'm on here, I don't even know how many people. We're gonna add 100 every few minutes. But going back to sales, here's the reason sales work. You don't have to have any money, and you don't even have to live in America. And if you're a woman, you can use it to your advantage. If you're a man, you can use it to your advantage. Each one has pros and cons and trade-offs. Males have some advantages to sales, and women have some advantages to sales. So get in there and sell something. I think the best thing, look, the 5 habits are reading, that's for mentors. Fasting, that's for physical health. Building, that's for assets. That's for wealth. Okay. And the third one, building, you got the 5 assets you want to build. That's software, your brand, land, cash, crypto. Software, brand, land, cash, crypto. Software, brand, land, cash, crypto. Memorize that shit, man.
Software.
To the extent you have those 5 things, and you will need all 5. Why do I say software? Well, go to the Forbes list. 8 out of 10, the wealthiest people in the world created their wealth through software. Elon Musk started with PayPal and a SaaS, a map software. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, the Google guys are not brothers. The 4th richest man in the world is Larry Ellison. No one even knows that guy, and he's got over 130 billion net worth. So software, you need your personal brand. Always develop your own personal brand. It's the only thing the world can't compete. You can't compete against your personal brand. You are the only you. So you need to develop a personal brand. Don't hide behind introversion. Introverts can have personal brands too. In fact, some of the biggest personal brands in the world are Mr. Beast. I know Mr. Beast. He's an introvert. He's the biggest out there. You know? He's an introvert. So you have software, your brand, land. Eventually, you need to own some real estate. Okay. Cash. Yes, you still need cash. And then crypto's digital cash. In case the world goes to shit or inflation gets too high, you want to have alternate currencies. In my opinion, you want to have some alternate assets. But I also like to have physical assets. I own farms. I like farms. The world goes to shit, can't feed itself. When COVID came, guess what? I went down to my farm. You know, I had enough cows, chickens, and land. I could have gone for a long. I grew my own wheat, man. And I have one farm that runs off horsepower. I have John Deere's on one farm and Belgian draft horses on the other. So I did your 67-step program. Good. What's your opinion on Brian Johnson? Is that the guy who's teaching you the anti-aging stuff? I don't know. Probably good stuff. Learn from everybody. You need 5 real mentors, though. And the 5 habits, number 1 is reading. Get 2 mentors for books, and you need 3 mentors in person. 2 of them can be books or YouTube videos or podcasts. You need 3 in-person mentors. Okay? You need some in-person ones. I got a combination. You need books for mentors who are dead. Like, I'd love to have Sigmund Freud as my mentor, Carl Jung, but they're not alive. So that's why books. People say, "Oh, are books important?" I'm like, of course they're important, because it's the only way you can reach the historical greatness. You know, people are like, "Oh, yeah, I just learned." But you can't just. You got to have books, because in those books you can learn General Grant, you can learn Julius Caesar, you can learn Alexander the Great, you can learn Napoleon Bonaparte, you can learn Gandhi. I was reading Gandhi. These guys are dead. Are you saying you don't want to use books and you don't want to learn from the past? That's insane.
The books you want to start with are the missing books of the Bible. The canonical Bible that holds 66 books is absolute horseshit. That is a lie from hell. It does not hold 66 books. You can actually look up in the Holy Bible. It references the book of Jasher. There are more books of the Bible. Some say 80, some say 500. Go read those. It'll unlock your entire world completely differently.
Sanity. You don't want to learn. You know the old saying, that cliche? What's the cliche? Those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat the past. That's a nightmare. You never want to repeat the past. Think about having to repeat your own past. In fact, Nietzsche, the great Nietzsche, said, you know, talked about this. The worst thing that could ever happen in life is what? You have to repeat all your mistakes over and over. Thoughts on Dom the hypnotist and dealing with subconscious blocks. I don't even know all the social media, man. It's a whole universe. I don't know who Dom the hypnotist dealing with subconscious blocks. Best way you overcome your subconscious blocks, you change your social circle. Come on my Telegram, you're gonna become a better salesperson because you're gonna learn from me and it just rubs off on you. That's the simplest thing. You can do all kinds of complex therapy and this, or you can just change your circle. First thing I did, I remember the first time I was around multimillionaires. I was about 19 years old. I was working in New Zealand on farms with a top entrepreneur who had agricultural business and like 5 60-year-old mentors. 5 of these guys came. They're like, hey, Ty, we're going on a retreat. And I went with them. And I remember that's the first time I was around people talking about business. And I was like, I don't know anything. I thought I was smart. I realized I wasn't smart at all. And so by changing my circle and starting, that was Alan Nation, he became my second mentor. They began to rub off on me slowly but surely. So in terms of if you want to consciously go through therapy and hypnosis, go for it. But at the end of the day, what's more powerful than anything? Humans are built to learn. You know how we learned? Your ancestors learned? They sat around a fire, the old grandfather, the old grandmother, they told stories of the past. Warfare they'd been in, raids they'd been on, the lion that attacked them, how they fought it off. And the younger people sat there and absorbed that knowledge. Oh, that's how you hold a spear. Like aim for under the neck, aim for here on a bear. And that is how Native American tribes that we all came from, whether they're Native American, Native African, South Asia, wherever they come from, the Vikings. When you understand that, humans learn by osmosis. So the problem with the school system is you're learning from professional teachers. I got no offense with teachers. I don't think they're bad people, but they're stuck in a bad system. You know. Ty, what are habits number 4? Habit number 4.
Oh, Ty. As somebody who's graduated college, I can tell you, they are absolutely bad people. Down to the core, filled with tons and tons of them. Evil in the core of their damn liberal soul.
And in the 5-finger rule, how to read people's. You can start to read people's hormonal systems. I have high testosterone, low estrogen. You can even if you hear me talk, I got a deeper voice. You can see people's face, but that's just the beginning. You begin to understand hormonal personality types. That's the future. Okay. Some of you do 16 personalities, Myers-Briggs, ENTP, ENFP. That's somewhat old science. It's a little bit valid, but it's not as valid as what we know now. They decoded the gene after Carl Jung came up with that kind of Myers-Briggs. It's based on psychology. So, and the 5th one is breathing. So you know how to, there's a basketball player, Steph Curry. Anytime he's anxious, he can lower his heart rate. Scientists are trying to study him. How does he lower his heart rate in 30 seconds? It's insane. He's an outlier. But you need to know how to lower your anxiety at any given moment in time because people are too anxious. And when you're too anxious, you make bad decisions. I send you a book. Okay, I'm working on my book. It's called The 5 Habits. I'll try. Hoping to be out in 4 months. So Mr. B says more money than Ty. Possible. I'm not actually. There's 4 M's of motivation: material, mating, mastery, and movement. I'm not motivated by money. Like to me, money gets me the other 3: mating, freedom, movement, freedom, mastery, status. So to me, there are people who love money. I'm not one of them. So I never care. People, this guy has more money. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like you competing. I'm playing chess. That's backgammon. I don't care about those rules. Now, some of you, it's something you actually inherit. Some people have genetic propensity in the Hexaco score, which is 25 subfacets of human personality. There's a greed avoidance scale. And some people just genetically, even from a young age, score high in greed for physical. I do like cool cars. I've always liked them from a little kid, but it's not so much. If I was the only person on Earth, I would still get a Lamborghini. I like cool houses because they're functional and they're beautiful, and a lot of people can come. You can throw parties. I'm more driven by social stuff, you know. So people sometimes say like, "Oh, what's your net worth?" And who cares? Someone's always richer than you. You think Elon Musk is the richest dude in the world? Putin's way richer. There's somebody probably richer than Putin. It's how the game goes. Competing to me is not my dominant 4M's motivation. 4M's. I like to quantify things. There's 4 unconscious drivers. Material things, mating, movement, mastery. Material things is generally money. Mating is love, sex, family. Movement is freedom. The final mastery is status. Most men are actually driven by status. It's not true. Most men don't like money as much as they feel. If you had a choice between making $1 million a year, but having the status of Leonardo DiCaprio or something, or you can go to any party and everybody wants to hang out with you, or you could be some fucking goofy billionaire, which one are you going to choose? Now, some of you would choose billionaire and be a goofy billionaire, but most people, in general, men are driven by mastery, status. It's part of testosterone. One of the core, if you look at the science on testosterone, it makes people more dominant. So people want to compute on status, you know? So someone says, he looks like a baby. Does DiCaprio look like a baby? Okay, who's at tylopez.com/black belt? Just joining this absolutely free. I didn't even make it with the thought I was gonna sell a course. I'm gonna train people. And you can sell, I'll make money if some of you become salespeople and sell my products. But I don't care if you don't have to. You know. You can use my name to sell stuff and I'll pay you money. I'm paying out sales guys all the time. One guy just closed a deal. His commission was $12,000 in 3 days to close the deal. He was making, before he worked for me, he was a student. He told me he thinks he can make $50,000 in commissions. Elon Musk said in an interview, Putin is much richer. Yeah, anybody who controls an army is always richer. Now, you know, so for example, North Korean guy, a lot of African people, the African rulers that have their own private army, they're always infinity richer than it's not, the Forbes list is wealth. It's not measurable. Okay. Who's in the Telegram group? Let me just oh. Okay. You know, they've just completely decoded the full Y chromosomes. I'm reading a good book. If you want to read a genetic book, read the book called The Gene. How long did it take you to hit your first 100 grand? That was in 2002. It took me about 8 months from being broke. I bought a course by a guy named Corey Rudel. Sadly died. Taught me internet marketing. I built a Google campaign. I built something called lifeinsurancetricks.com, generated leads. I closed the life insurance deals. I was making about $8,000 to $10,000 a month within 9 months of being broke. Somebody said, "Do you believe in eugenics?" First off, people, if you mean I don't believe in eugenics that you should sterilize people, or that I don't believe that handicapped people should be sterilized. That's a concept. But do I believe people are selective in who they have sex and kids with? Yeah, smart people are. And you're practicing selection. I don't believe in eugenics. Eugenics is like Hitler, you know. But it's funny, anytime you talk about genes, stupid people think you're talking about Adolf Hitler shit. Ignore the noise, ladies and gentlemen. This world, I got great news for you. You're gonna make a lot of money if you got a brain, because the competition is thin. And we're all gonna be. Look, very good news for you. Who here feels stressed out about money? Listen to me. You feel stressed out about money. I got good news. You're gonna make it. Why am I saying that? Am I saying that because I'm optimistic? No. Your competition is weak. Your competition, let me repeat. If you're stressed out, you're gonna do okay, man. Put your head down, ladies and gentlemen. Begin to learn.
There's a lot of competition in one sense, but there's not a lot of people doing the work in another sense. So if work is what you bring to the value of the market, you're sitting on tons of cash. You are the money. Go get your money. It's inside you. Get it out of
The more
you.
you learn, the more you earn. Learn high value skills. Sales and closing is a high value skill. Marketing is a high value skill. How to build your personal brand, that's a high value skill. I'm not talking about to be an influencer and goofy and just dance. I'm talking about a real brand that you can monetize for. Don't be afraid. Your competition is weak. You're gonna do great. If you listen to what I'm talking about. Not just me, but if you do the 5 habits. Number 1, reading. And that's really mentors, but I say reading because everybody understands it. Two different books you should be reading a month. And you should have 3 mentors that are speaking into your life. Some of them should be in person, some could be podcasts or YouTube. Don't have all of them digital, for the love of God. Do not have them all digital. Please. You cannot learn 100% digital. Especially not now. In a live call like this is a little more like real life, but even then it's not as good because I can interact with you. But you put the 5 habits into your
If you want to be accountable to people, that's why we have the Wealth Builders Network.
life. They create health, wealth, love, and happiness. Competition is weak. They're never going to catch up with you. You'll be fine. Some of you are stressed out. I understand. I have been stressed out. You're not the only one. Who here feels stressed out financially right now? Who feels like they're not going to get what they hoped for out of life? Who feels lost? Be honest. Just put the word lost. Who feels broke? Okay? I want to teach you a simple skill, a high value skill, a free skill. This is going to be my gift to the world. I could charge a lot of money to teach sales. And I do. I have some advanced stuff where people pay me for sales. But what I'm saying is I made this Telegram group. I'm already, go scroll up. I'm recording badass videos. I should pin them. I'm starting to get too many freaking friends. I'll pin them. I'm going to build a huge community of people that I turn into black belts. Okay? Black belts with persuasion. You can use it for marketing. You can use it for sales. The difference, by the way, marketing is automated. Sales is in this. How many things can I pin one damn video? Apparently I can only pin one. So I pinned one. Kristen says she's beating cancer. Try to figure out my new life. Well, let's read you, Kristen. Kristen Katie from Facebook. Live streaming here. Let's talk. Christy, I have a series of questions. Everybody pay attention. Okay? Because as you understand, let me go live here real quick. It won't affect live on this. Live feature. Video chat. Start video chat. Okay, some of you, if you're you can't be streaming in 2 places. What's up, everybody? I'm live streaming right here, but I wanted to go. I'm getting other people in this group, but I'm gonna say hello here. to those of you in Telegram. I'm gonna be focused on one group. My black belts. Let me turn you into black. This is my gift to the world. I had great mentors. Some of them I paid a lot of money. I'm not gonna charge anything. That's my one promise. This Telegram group, I'm not gonna make it that you have to pay money to be in this Telegram. You can buy my other courses, but this Telegram will be uniquely free. And I'm not even gonna shill you and pitch you on stuff. I got no. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you're shilling too much." I don't give a shit. Always be selling because you always have expenses. So you never let people guilt you and say, "Oh, you shouldn't sell stuff." But I'm just saying, this specific group, I'm gonna make it free, just because I don't know. I like to do a new experiment and I want to do it free. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, it's late at night in most of the world, so I'm gonna go live another time. But I'm doing this kind of, the first people are going to be in this group. And you just go to telebus.com/blackbelt. It'll redirect you to Telegram. You download the Telegram app. It's huge. I don't know, 500 million people have it. It's the most secure app, even in some ways more secure than WhatsApp, because people can't see your phone number. You can hide your phone number, so it's more secure. It's the most secure chat. I think Telegram and Signal are considered the most. What I like about Telegram is I can put 200,000 people in one group. I want to build the biggest global community of people becoming black belts in sales, marketing, and making money. So pay attention. Don't abuse the group. Don't try to shill. My admins, my staff will kick people out. I'm not going to let people sit there and sell. Okay. Once in a while you can do it, but I don't want people in there. Oh, we'll just mute people or kick them out. Anyway, talibas.com/blackbelt. But I recorded a video. I want to talk about some practical stuff on the 5 habits. So let me just run through this. One of my mentors, Dr. Buss, I asked him, he's one of the most respected scientists. Started at Harvard, Texas. And I said, you know, what do wealthy people have in common? He said, high levels of energy. Continuous learners. That's another thing. You know, for example, Elon Musk, his sister just wrote an article that Elon Musk would read 2 books a day. I got a lot of flack for saying I read 1 book a day. People couldn't believe it was true. Well, I had low standards for myself. Apparently, Elon Musk, starting around age 13, was reading 2 books a day. He even says it, you know? So habit number 1 is reading. That's continuous learning. Now, it's really not about books, though. It's about mentors. The reason I use books is because a lot of the people I look up to are no longer alive. They have been dead for 2,000 years. If you want to learn from Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism. If you want to learn from Julius Caesar. If you want to learn from Confucius. Confucius is almost 3,000 years. So I got to use books. It's my best way. But I also have in-person mentors that I talk to. I talk to them on the phone or I go meet them in person. I was just with a mentor in London. Okay, so you need mentors. That's habit number 1. 2, fasting. 5-hour rule. 3 hours in the morning when you wake up, don't eat. Now, don't do this if you're a child.
I heavily agree with the fasting thing, especially as a bodybuilder. If you're going to be doing fasting, it's literally an actual instruction for what humans are supposed to do from the Bible. It's literally how you're designed. To eat every single day is marketing. I am teaching you marketing. It is marketing. It is marketing that was done for a false cause. The truth is that the human body heals and gets rid of fat and heals its own body through sickness, through fasting. And you absolutely should be fasting. His way of doing it, you can do it that way, sure. You can also do it for extended periods of time. Look into it, do the research, ask me questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you. But I heavily agree with it.
You're watching. This is for adults only. Okay? When you're young, eat food. I mean, don't eat junky food, but don't restrict your damn calories. But I'm assuming we're talking to adults on this chat. So 3 hours in the morning and then 2 hours before you go to bed. Don't eat within 2 hours before you go to bed. Okay? That's the beginning. That's not all there is to health. No one's oversimplifying. It's a great discipline because the number one problem facing modern humanity is too much calories. People are eating right when they wake up and they're eating right before they go to bed. Your body needs more than your damn 8 hours of sleep. to be without food. You need to go quite a bit of time when you're an adult without eating. So it's the 5-hour rule. Number 3 is the most relevant
I
to
agree.
this group. It's building specifically. And the habit is the 5 assets. You need to build software. If you don't know what to do, sell software. Let me repeat. If you don't know what to do, sell software. That's what Bill Gates did. That's what Elon Musk did. That's what Mark Zuckerberg did. That's what the Google guys did. That's what Larry Ellison did. 8 out of the 10 billionaires in the world built their wealth by selling software. So assets. I started building my tylopez.com website. It runs on my own custom software. I started building it in 2006. It wasn't my Here in My Garage video that made me all the money. It was the software. So software, and then you build your own personal brand. So it's software, brand, reinvest in land, software, brand, land, cash, crypto. Software is the first thing to start selling if you don't know what to do. Number 2, build a brand. Simple brand is your own brand. You can build a third-party brand, another name, but build your own damn name. The only thing nobody can compete with. Number 3, okay, software, brand, land. Reinvest your profits in some real estate. Own land, like Mark Twain said, buy land, they ain't making any more of it. I buy farmland because it's a backup plan. The world goes to shit, I can grow my own food. I got cows, horses, chickens, enough land. I've got all the land that I'm on has fresh water that you could drink out of in a worst case scenario. Okay, so software, brand, land, cash. You need some cash. Even with inflation, you got to have some cash. Okay, but then also the 5th one, have some crypto. Crypto's digital cash. You can add to that. You can have some physical gold. You can have some silver. You can have some things like that. But I like crypto. It's easily transferable. You know how to do it. It's relatively safe. Don't do anything stupid in terms of your passwords, things like that. So those are your 5. That's habit number 3. Habit number 4 is networking by reading people. 5 fingers. This is testosterone finger, estrogen. It's called digit index ratio. Look it up. Tremendously scientifically validated by multiple studies. It's not palm reading. So it's the beginning of learning to read people. I use the hand at the beginning, but I learned how to read people. Once you know how to read people, you can network in business settings and you can find love. Again, don't just use Tinder all the time. You find love also in person. You go to house parties, you throw house parties at your house. You go to birthdays, you go to restaurants, you go out, you walk around, you talk to people. A lot of people, male and female. If you're an introvert, maybe you talk to a little bit less, but don't hide behind that introvert shit. If you want a good life, you can't. That's like hiding behind, oh, I'm big boned. Well, you're fat. Okay? Introverts hide behind their anxiety. Often what we call an introvert is an anxious person. That's why actually introverts love to be out in social settings because they're not really introverts. Okay? If you look up Carl Jung, who invented the word introvert extrovert, invented it. He did not define introvert extrovert as being shy. That's a modern invention. Go look it up. I posted his actual textbook. Read straight from the source. The difference between introvert and extrovert has nothing to do with it. So often you all aren't networking because you're hiding behind anxiety. Don't hide behind anxiety. Overcome your fears. You can do it. But there are people who tend to be a little more shy. You don't need to network with 1,000 people a year, but you need to network with 100 people a year. Those of you super extroverted, you can network with 1,000 people a year. But nobody should be talking to less
Networking,
than
I met him.
You're talking to 100 strangers a year. How are you going to live? How are you going to make money?
Think about what I just said. Networking, I met him. Look at what I'm doing right now. You have to do this. It is your teacher. It is your soul food. It's good for you.
I don't know that. I don't understand what people are talking about. I mean, you can become a hermit? Okay, fine. But that's not attainable. Most people are not going to become a hermit. Humans evolved in groups of 150. It's called Dunbar's number. Who here hasn't found love? Who here doesn't have kids? Who here does not have kids? Just put in the chat. If you don't have kids, you have the most important puzzle ahead of you. It's to find a long-term mate that's trustworthy. Okay? And you got to know how to read people, and you better network, because if you only talk to 2 people, you ain't gonna. The odds are against you. I have a whole system called the 13 Thesis, the paid system. I charge like $7 a month. But some of you should not what I'm here to talk about today. But the 4th habit is networking. This helps with money. It helps with love. It helps with friendships. It helps with happiness. The final one is breathing. Breathe more. Deep breaths. 5 breath rule. Multiple times throughout the day when you're super stressed out, breathe in and out as slow as you can 5 times. You should be able to stretch it out for a minute. A breath. It's been proven over and over. It lowers your anxiety. It lowers and stops the release of cortisol and adrenaline that is burning people out, man. Too much stimulus. Start to feel overwhelmed. 5 breaths. Deep, slow. Ideally a minute apiece. Okay? Sounds like a lot, but you can breathe in super slow. Take 30 seconds. It won't be perfect. And you want to be doing that 3 to 5 minutes in the most stressful time of the day. Ideally, you do it to take a power nap, by the way. I use breathing mostly to take a power nap. Wim Hof breathing. Yeah, you can do the Wim Hof stuff. He has very advanced stuff. You can try the advanced stuff and all that, but you can also just do the simple thing that I'm saying. It's like breathe real slow 5 times. Okay. Building. I don't want to have kids until I live near the ocean. Yeah. Go to Scandinavia. Figure out the best one. Go to Iceland. I was just. Do you ever have bad people as mentors? What's the definition of bad? You mean exploitative? That's usually what we mean. Serial killers? No, I've never had serial killers. Have I had exploitative people as mentors? I mean, if you look up to any politicians, they're all exploitative. Try to get away from the words of the common masses. You know, good, bad person. Better to use, like, even if I'm talking about Hitler, I don't like to call him a bad man. I like to call him, he's probably psychopathic. That's a more precise word. Psychopaths have low levels of empathy, low levels of, I mean, there's some positives to psychopaths. 80% of Navy SEALs are psychopaths. So I don't like to use good, bad that much. Even with someone like Hitler. Or Mao Zedong killed 100 million people. He was an extreme narcissist if you read his book. Or a book on him. There's a famous book called Mao. But bad is the wrong. Bad is think deeper, ladies and gentlemen. Deeper. Why'd you not say he wasn't bad? Because bad, it's not precise. And when you speak in non-precise words, people start generalizing. You go, oh, my neighbor, I don't like him. He's a bad neighbor. Well, is it like fucking Hitler? So I like to be precise. What do you not like about your neighbor? You know? Narcissistic people have the best sex. That is just a make-believe stat. Why would narcissistic people have better sex? It's not a truth. Healthy people have better sex. If you don't have blood circulation going well, you don't have great sex. Readjust the Yeti. One of the greatest, Conrack says, Ty, one of the greatest points of this conversation, not to use imprecise words. Yeah, exactly. People are so imprecise nowadays. Like, it lowers your IQ to interact in general. You know?
That's actually a large reason why people don't know where they're going or why they aren't accomplishing the vision that they have in their head. It's because you've learned to be vague and speak the, I hate to use this word because of somebody, but you're using the nomenclature of the common man, you'll be common. You need to read and learn and do more.
It's not what you read, it's what you apply. True. But it's not also what you apply, it's the strategy behind it. So it's a combination. Books and mentors give you the strategy. It's up to you to put it in
It's very true.
But don't think, but you can also lose if you have bad strategy. You know? Damaged is a better word. I mean, I think scientists have the exact words for somebody like Adolf Hitler. He had high dark triad, high narcissism, high Machiavellian, high psychopathy, low agreeableness, high levels of greed, low levels of fairness, low levels of sincerity, high levels of authoritarianism, high levels of superiority, high levels of exhibitionism, high levels of vanity. So these are, I'm going to teach you all my black belt system how to speak with precision so that you can then analyze people. You're not going to run into that many Adolf Hitlers in. So you need to become more intelligent. My Telegram group is for, I want to grow the intelligence, specifically around business. Each and every one of you. I want to grow mine too, you know? Very interesting. More books were written about Napoleon Bonaparte than Hitler, though. Hitler's the second most books ever written. Bonaparte is the first. I'm so excited that new movie's coming out. It's going to be amazing. TyLopez.com/blackbelt. Ain't selling you nothing. It's a free Telegram group. I'm going to turn people into black belts, real black belts, sales, persuasion, marketing, all those things you need, negotiation, closing, all the things they don't teach in school. Are you the new Wolf of Wall Street? No. I know Jordan Belfort. He was on my podcast. I was one of the first guys to have him on. But I'm not the Wolf of Wall. I hope I'm not the Wolf of Wall Street. Everybody's their thing, you know? Aren't people who score low on your dark triad test kind of naive? No. Not. Dark triad is mostly exploitativeness. Low dark triad, you can still be very smart. What do I think of AI? AI is going to take over this world. You mark my words, whether you like it or not. So just prepare. And it's a bigger deal than people think. What's my podcast name? The Ty Lopez Show. Thoughts on the attention economy. Oh boy. Problem. The problem with social media is crazy things go viral instead of logical. So everybody has to get crazier and crazier. It's a competition. It's a race to do the most wacky thing. You know what I mean?
That's an alert.
Do I not like Kindle? I like Kindles, but sometimes I don't want to always stare at digital stuff. I already see my phone enough. I like these books. Talk more about AI. I mean, look, the biggest problem, you see this jet that's flying around right now? A guy ejected. You see this all over the news today? Well, that's AI flying the damn jet. What happens when the AI will become sentient? Already there. And there will be an issue with robots, computer AI taking over military weaponry. You might think it's not because humans are narcissistic, so we think there never will be a robot as smart as us. I'm like, are you nuts? There's been robots smarter than us forever. Humans didn't know how to get to the moon. A damn robot did. Now, it might have been programmed by humans, but eventually the robots...
This is where I completely disagree with Ty. We have never gone to the moon. The moon is a luminary. You need to read the book of Enoch.
superseded your calculator.
You can't even stand on it. It's not tangible. It is a heavenly body. Read the book of Enoch. We never went there. But you can still make a good point. We just never went there.
Does things that nobody can do. You know? That's 100 years ago. So just remember. Close but not quite sentient. It's all semantics. We don't know. There's a story recently of a military simulation that happened. Department of Defense did a simulation, not a real. They had a drone with a AI running it, and they told the drone halfway on its mission to bomb something, turn around. We got the wrong guy, and the robot said, "I don't want to turn around. I want to complete my mission." And then they said, "Turn around," and it turned around and blew up the real humans that were controlling it so it could go and do its own mission. Now, that was just a simulation. Sentient means it's alive, or at least smart enough that it's just about as close to alive. So, we have AI, but you still have to load the dishwasher. That's true. All right, I'm going to go to bed soon. Telegram group is growing. I expect this thing will hit 1,000 people hopefully tomorrow, and God knows where it's going to go. I want to see if I can. You can only have 200,000 people. AI. Telegram. So I want to see if I can hit the 200,000 people.
You got this, Ty.
We got it. I only started like an hour ago, so, and it's late at night. All right, I'm gonna wrap everything up, but I'll see you all tomorrow. And that was the Telegram. But go in there, because whenever I have a thought, an idea, I'm dropping it in that black belt group. And for those of you who want to work with me, you don't have anything to sell, I'll give you products to sell. I just posted a script in there. You can start selling for me. So that's my selfish thing, but I'm not selling you. That's me. If you sell something, I'm going to pay you commission, a reseller affiliate commission. So, but you don't have to. That's not the main purpose of the group. Main purpose of groups just give back. So I'm already giving back stuff, not selling anything. I did it earlier today. I got some pinned videos you should watch. All right. I will talk to you. I may go live tomorrow, so watch for the live. Oh, can they not hear me?
I actually saw that one too. So what I'm going to do is a couple things, right? I want to thank you guys for coming with me to the channel today and welcoming this new venture that I've taken on. In providing absolute maximum value to you guys, I will be preloading videos, and maybe instead of watching the whole video, I'll clip them up a little bit, but watching the whole video is also how you learn, and I'll present it in a shorter fashion. There's the shorts. The shorts is going to be the shorter fashion anyway, so whatever. But long story short, we're marketing a brand together. We're putting out this content together. And, well, I'm putting it out there for you, and you're going to be developing your brand with me. So that is that for now. Look forward to PDF I have coming out. And I'll be speaking with you, gentlemen and ladies, shortly on other streaming channels. Thank you for today. Tune in soon. TTYL. Goodbye. Talk to you later.